Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered his country's nuclear forces to be on high alert amid tensions with the West over his invasion of Ukraine. The order means Putin wants Russia's nuclear weapons prepared for increased readiness to launch. This raises the threat that Moscow's invasion and the West's response to it could boil over into nuclear warfare. Amid this worrying development, the office of Ukraine's president said a delegation would meet with Russian officials as Moscow's troops draw closer to Kyiv.
And Russian troops are continuing their march across Ukraine, but so far the nation's capital, Kyiv, is not yet the site of a full-scale takeover.
While Kyiv is under curfew until tomorrow morning, Russia unleashed a new wave of attacks overnight as the invasion enters its fourth day. Elise Preston has the latest.
Russian forces blew up Ukrainian airfields and fuel facilities overnight as its invasion enters day 4. There are reports of street fighting in Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv. On Saturday, a missile struck a high-rise apartment building in the capital city of Kyiv.
The Russian troops continue the severe shelling of both military infrastructure, but also civilian objects. Cyber attacks also against the websites of the governmental institutions continue.
Ukraine's president is vowing not to surrender. But for Ukrainian citizens, the situation is becoming desperate. While people are hunkering down for safety in underground parking garages and subway stations, the U.S. predicts as many as 5 million Ukrainians could be forced to flee.
We don't have any choice. We must do this something for survival.
The U.S. has pledged an additional $350 million in military aid, and the U.S., U.K., and European Union are blocking certain Russian banks from the SWIFT global financial messaging system.
Save Ukraine!
Across the U.S., Americans demonstrated their support at rallies Saturday in Los Angeles and New York City.
We are Ukrainians living in New York, and we are desperate to ask people to help Ukraine to fight.
And a Ukrainian chorus opened Saturday Night Live last night, singing Prayer for Ukraine, flanked by a table with candles spelling the word Kyiv, Ukraine's capital, and sunflowers, Ukraine's national flower. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Now, an estimated 368,000 Ukrainians have fled their country. Ukraine's Interior Ministry says 352 Ukrainian civilians have been killed during Russia's invasion, and that includes 14 children. It says an additional 1,684 people, including 116 children, have been wounded.